1 second. Let me get that. Just a sec. That's going to be 5840. You know how to fit that and all? Yeah. You good, bro?
Okay.
Thanks a lot. You want a bag for that?
No, I'm just gonna wear it out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Here's your receipt.
Okay.
Thanks.
If you witnessed this scene, what would you remember?
Give me the money in the register now. I'm not messing around, man. Hurry
How
up.
much would you be able to tell police officers when they questioned you?
What is this, man?
That's all we got.
I know you got a lockbox. Open it up.
I don't have a lockbox.
A witness's memory can help police solve a crime and a jury convict a criminal.
Open up the lockbox, man. Come on, let's go.
Under pressure, how would your memory measure up?
Should we go after him?
No, let's call the cops, man.
One British researcher thinks he can help you crack the case.
Damn, they cleared us out.
Looking at the interrogation process tells a lot about how fragile memory can be. So what we find is we have to shrug off the way we normally converse and take on this new way of talking such that people can be helped to access their memories.
Psychologists have developed an interviewing technique that avoids polluting memory as it aims at more accurate recollections. This new approach, called the cognitive interview, has been refined and tested in the United Kingdom, where law enforcement has been using it since the early 90s. At the University of Portsmouth, psychologist Ray Bull and others compare the cognitive interview with standard police interview techniques.
A few days ago, we showed some participants the videotape recording of a robbery in a cycle store. And then today, we got back some of those participants and we interviewed some of them with a cognitive interview and some of them with a comparison standard interview. What we wanted to see was whether there were any kind of differences in the two techniques. In the standard interview, the interviewer does not give any special instructions to the interviewee to help them use their own memory.
Give me a description of what took place.
Right, okay. Two guys came in and one brandished a gun at the kind of shop owner, but I couldn't hear any sound.
Hang on, did you say one of them had a gun?
The interviewer often interrupts the person even when they're giving record.
So did he fire the gun?
I don't think so, no.
They ask suggestive and leading questions.
Can you describe?
They're eager to get to the centre of the issue rather than taking their time.
The guy that you said fired the gun.
Oh, right.
Could you describe what he...
Oh, he didn't fire the gun. No, he didn't fire
the gun.
No, he just
Okay.
waved the gun, yeah.
Okay.
It's quite a tense kind of
Did he
affair.
have blue
The
eyes?
interviewee is probably not very relaxed.
So who was doing the robbery?
The first guy that came in, I think.
Most people have a rough idea how to use their memory to be reasonably effective, but it doesn't usually produce the kind of detailed recall you want from a
Say
witness.
there was another. So he had some sort of weapon.
I think he did, yeah. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Are you comfortable? Yeah.
Whereas in the cognitive interview, we take our time, we establish rapport with the person, we tell them to relax, we tell them that they're the person with the information, we want them to tell everything they can.
You talk and you begin when you're ready.
Firstly, it was a bike shop.
The power lies with the person trying to do the recall, and they must search their own memory. And the interviewer is sitting there listening, saying as little as possible, but just giving guidance and prompts from what we know of the psychology of memory.
The guy moved over to the other side of the shop, past the guy who was crouched down, and pulled out a gun on the bloke who was behind the counter.
When they've told us about the outline of the event, we then choose particular parts of what they've said, and then we interview about that particular part.
Now focus on the gun.
Well, it was a handgun, and I think it was black. It was.
And when we've helped them empty out everything they can remember about that part, then and only then do we move to another part. Whereas in a standard interview, often the police officer will go all over the place from one topic to another.
But that's all I can remember about the gun.
Now,
We would then,
if,
at the very end, say, okay, we've worked very hard now. There's one more little thing we'd like you to do.
So Beth, you say the last thing you remember is the two guys leaving the store. If we use that as a starting point, what we're going to do now is work backwards in time.
They both ran out together. Well, they both ran out together, and I remember now.
Reverse order recall, we know from psychological research in the laboratory, when people do that, they search memory for that event in detail. So that's why it sometimes produces more information.
The skinny guy had taken...
Studies show that the cognitive interview is more powerful than the standard technique, helping witnesses recall a higher proportion of correct memories.